What's up, gearheads? Welcome back to the channel. If you've spent any time in this hobby, you know Jay Leno's garage isn't just a collection. It's basically a rolling museum of everything weird and wonderful in automotive history. Muscle cars, steam-powered oddities, million-dollar exotics, the man has seen it all and driven most of it. But today, we're zeroing in on a corner of that garage that doesn't get nearly enough love: the pickup trucks. See, most folks think of a pickup as pure function. Haul some lumber, tow a trailer, get it dirty on a job site, done. But Jay Leno's truck collection proves that even the humble pickup can be a canvas for wild engineering, marketing gimmicks, and full-blown personality. From a Holley-built Restomod packing an LS3 under a factory-correct mint green shell, to a Corvair with a side-loading ramp nobody else was building, to a turbocharged GMC that could embarrass sports cars off the line, these trucks break every rule of what a work truck is supposed to be. We're counting down 7 of the goofiest, most gloriously unconventional pickups Jay Leno has ever owned or driven. A supercharged Harley-Davidson F-150 with a 6-figure charity auction story, a Mercedes-Benz race transporter nicknamed the Blue Wonder, a Studebaker with an actual bed built in for long-haul sleeping, and the truck that started it all, the 1931 Ford Model A. So grab your coffee, settle in, and let's dig into 7 pickups that prove Detroit and Stuttgart, and everywhere in between, has never been afraid to get a little goofy with the workhorse of the automotive world. Let's get into it.
Number 7. 1967 Chevy C10 Restomod. The 1967 Chevrolet C10 Restomod, built by Holley, is a one-of-a-kind truck that appeared on Jay Leno's garage, blending old-school looks with thoroughly modern performance. Jay received the truck in 2014 when Holley Performance Products CEO Tom Tomlinson brought it in to showcase the company's latest innovations, while still paying tribute to the truck's classic roots. It was as much a rolling advertisement for Holley's engineering capabilities as it was a tribute to a beloved truck platform. The C10 series, part of Chevy's broader CK lineup, was built from 1960 through 2002. And the 1967 model kicked off the second generation, which ran through 1972. These trucks earned a reputation for being tough and versatile, making them a hit with both work crews and enthusiasts alike. Even decades after production ended, the second-generation C10 remains one of the most popular platforms for builders and Restomod shops, largely because its simple body-on-frame construction makes it an ideal blank canvas for custom builds.
Holley's Restomod take on the 1967 C10 preserves the truck's original silhouette while layering in serious upgrades. Its mint green paint job, actually a factory-correct color, immediately catches the eye, and the dropped suspension paired with custom Curtis speed wheels gives it a period-correct stance with modern handling to match. The ride height alone transforms the truck's whole demeanor, taking a machine that once looked purely workmanlike and giving it the low, aggressive posture of a street machine. Under the hood sits a Chevrolet LS3 V8, a proven and dependable modern engine, displacing 6.2 liters and putting out roughly 500 horsepower. It's mated to a 6-speed Tremec T56 manual gearbox with a Hurst shifter for crisp, precise shifts, a setup that fuses vintage character with contemporary muscle. That kind of power in a truck that once rolled off the line with a modest inline-6 or small block V8 is a night-and-day transformation, and it's exactly the kind of contrast that makes Restomods like this one so appealing to enthusiasts who want vintage looks without vintage driving dynamics. One of the coolest details is Holley's self-tuning fuel injection system, which keeps the engine dialed in without constant manual fiddling, notable given the company's long legacy in carburetors. The engine bay itself is styled to look period correct, with coil pack covers disguised as classic big block valve covers, so that even a knowledgeable onlooker might do a double take before recognizing the modern hardware hiding underneath. That blend of vintage charm and cutting-edge tech is exactly what makes this C10 such a standout in Leno's collection, and it's a great example of why Restomods have become such a significant part of the classic truck hobby.
Number 6. 1961 Chevrolet Corvair Ramside. The 1961 Chevrolet Corvair Ramside is another highlight in Jay Leno's garage, a testament to Chevrolet's willingness to experiment with unconventional engineering. Leno picked this one up in 2011, drawn in by its oddball features and its place in automotive history.
Of all the trucks on this list, the ramp side might be the one that looks the least like a normal pickup at first glance. The ramp side belonged to Chevrolet's Corvair 95 series, produced from 1961 to 1964, alongside a sibling model called the load side. The Corvair 95 trucks were Chevy's answer to the Volkswagen Type 2 pickup, sharing a similar rear-mounted, air-cooled layout, but the ramp side set itself apart with a side-mounted loading ramp that made hauling cargo far easier than a standard tailgate. At the time, American manufacturers rarely borrowed engineering philosophy so directly from European imports, which makes the Corvair 95 series a fascinating snapshot of how seriously Detroit was taking the growing popularity of compact European vans and trucks. That ramp is the truck's signature feature. Instead of a rear tailgate, the passenger side panel folds down to form a ramp, giving easy access to the cargo bed for loading bulky or heavy items. It's a design that made the ramp side especially popular with tradespeople and small businesses who needed something practical and dependable. Electricians, plumbers, and delivery drivers appreciated being able to wheel a hand truck or heavy equipment straight up the ramp rather than lifting it over a tailgate.
Powering the truck is a rear-mounted, air-cooled flat six, the same basic engine family found in Corvair passenger cars. Mounting the engine in the rear lowered the truck's center of gravity, improving handling compared to front-engine pickups of the era, and its semi-unitized construction, built around a supporting subframe under the cargo area, added extra strength. The 1961 ramp side came with a 2.4-liter, 145 cubic inch flat six, making 80 horsepower, paired with a 3-speed synchromesh transaxle driving the rear wheels. Chevrolet also offered a 2-speed Power Glide automatic and a 4-speed manual as options. The engine featured rotating exhaust valves and larger carburetor jets for a richer fuel mixture, boosting both durability and performance. Production numbers for the ramp side were always modest compared to Chevy's more conventional pickups, and that relative rarity is a big part of why surviving examples like Leno's are treasured today.
Number 5. 1991 GMC Syclone. The 1991 GMC Syclone is often called one of the wildest, most unforgettable pickups of the 90s, and it's easy to see why it caught Jay Leno's attention. He added it to his collection in the early 2000s, drawn to its blistering performance and unusual place in truck history. In an era when most pickups were judged almost entirely on towing capacity and bed length, the Syclone flipped the script by chasing stoplight to stoplight bragging rights instead. Only 2,995 Syclones were built in 1991, making it a genuinely rare find. The truck was developed with help from PAS, Production Automotive Services, the same outfit behind the 1989 Pontiac Turbo Trans Am. The goal was simple: build the fastest production truck around, and the Syclone delivered. GMC's willingness to hand the project over to an outside performance shop was itself unusual for the era, and it speaks to how serious the automaker was about making a genuine performance statement. Its heart is a turbocharged 4.3-liter V6 fitted with a Mitsubishi TD06 17C turbocharger and a Garrett air-to-air intercooler, good for 280 horsepower and 350 pound-feet of torque. Power flowed through a 4-speed automatic and an all-wheel drive system built around a Borg-Warner 4472 transfer case, letting the Syclone sprint from 0 to 60 miles per hour in just 4.3 seconds, an eye-opening number for a pickup even today, and quick enough at the time to embarrass a number of contemporary sports cars in a straight line. A sport-tuned suspension and 4-wheel ABS rounded out the package, keeping things composed as well as quick.
Visually, the Syclone was just as striking, with glossy black paint, an aggressive stance, and distinctive spiral spoke wheels that set it apart from anything else on the lot. Inside, it borrowed a gauge cluster from the Pontiac Sunbird Turbo and sports seats for extra support, small touches that reinforce the truck's identity as a performance machine wearing a pickup's body. Combined with its tiny production numbers, all of this has made the Syclone a highly sought-after collector's piece, a rare mix of speed, style, and scarcity.
Number 4. 2000 Ford F-150 Harley-Davidson. The 2000 Ford F-150 Harley-Davidson edition might not ring a bell for most people, and that's understandable. A motorcycle brand teaming up with a non-Japanese automaker was still fairly unusual at the time.
Jay Leno's particular truck is even rarer. It's the only 2000 F-150 Harley-Davidson fitted with the supercharged 5.4-liter V8 out of the F-150 Lightning. Leno auctioned this unique truck for $200,000 to benefit the National Multiple Sclerosis Society. Ford and Harley-Davidson's Special Edition F-150 ran from 2000 to 2012, with each model year bringing its own styling and mechanical tweaks. The 2000 truck was the first of the partnership, combining pickup toughness with Harley styling cues and setting the tone for the editions that followed. The collaboration made sense on paper. Both brands built their identities around ruggedness and American manufacturing heritage, and pairing them together gave Ford a way to tap into Harley's famously loyal customer base. This special edition came loaded with unique touches: Harley-Davidson badging, distinctive 20-inch wheels, a glossy black finish, and a custom leather interior stamped with Harley logos. Every detail was designed to make sure nobody mistook the truck for a standard F-150, and the strategy worked. The Harley-Davidson editions quickly became some of the most recognizable special editions Ford ever produced. Leno's example goes a step further thanks to that supercharged 5.4-liter V8 swap from the Lightning, making it truly one of a kind. While the standard 2000 Harley-Davidson F-150 used a naturally aspirated 5.4-liter V8, Leno's supercharged version cranks out an impressive 360 horsepower and 440 pound-feet of torque, a huge jump in performance that brought genuine capability to a package that was mostly about image on the showroom floor. Power went through a 4-speed automatic, well-suited to handling the extra output and delivering smooth, confident shifts.
Number 3. 1950 Mercedes-Benz Ren Transporter. The 1950s-era Mercedes-Benz race car transporter is a striking piece of trucking history, instantly recognizable for its bulbous, blue, streamlined shape that echoes the styling of the SL race cars it was built to haul. Back in period, it shuttled racing machines between garages and events, and its design blends pure function with a bit of quintessential German flair. Few support vehicles in racing history have ever become as iconic as the machine they were built to serve, but the Blue Wonder is a rare exception. Leno owns a faithful replica of this famous hauler, often nicknamed the Blue Wonder. His fascination with it goes back to childhood, and he eventually built his own version to display in the garage as a tribute to its history and striking design. For a car enthusiast of Leno's generation, the Transporter represented something almost mythical, since so few originals were ever built and fewer still survived. The original Transporter was built in 1954 and used through the 1955 racing season, purpose-built to move Mercedes-Benz Grand Prix cars quickly between tracks and workshops. Its shape and capability made it a genuine standout compared to anything else hauling cargo at the time. Most period transporters were slow, boxy, and purely functional, which made the sleek, purpose-engineered Mercedes hauler look almost like a spaceship by comparison.
The signature feature is that bubble-like aerodynamic body, which wasn't just for show. It let the Transporter move at genuinely high speeds while carrying delicate, valuable cargo. Getting a race car to the track quickly and safely was a real competitive advantage before dedicated car hauling trailers became common. Power comes from a 3.0-liter inline-six, borrowed from the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, good for around 192 horsepower, giving the Transporter enough muscle to be one of the quickest haulers of its day. A 4-speed manual gearbox rounded out the drivetrain, giving the driver precise control, essential for moving race cars efficiently and safely at speed. Between its power, aerodynamics, and advanced for its time transmission, this Transporter remains one of the more remarkable machines in automotive history.
Number 2. 1938 Studebaker K30. The 1938 Studebaker K30 is a genuine standout in Jay Leno's collection, prized for its mix of historical significance and offbeat charm. Leno spotted the K30 at a Pebble Beach auction in 2010 and was won over by its groundbreaking design and the long-haul comfort it offered, a rarity for trucks of that era. Pebble Beach is typically associated with pristine European sports cars and coach-built luxury sedans, which makes the presence of a working-class Studebaker hauler at the same event a nice reminder that Leno's taste has never been limited to the obvious blue-chip classics. The K30 was part of Studebaker's K-Series, launched in 1938 as a follow-up to the J-Series and produced through 1940. The lineup included several variants: the K5, K10, K20, and K25, each built for a different cargo capacity, with the K30 aimed squarely at long-distance hauling and comfort, a real leap forward for late 1930s trucking.
Its standout feature is a built-in sleeper cab, literally a bed built into the truck, so drivers could rest during marathon hauls that could stretch up to 18 hours. That was a genuinely innovative amenity for the era, giving truckers somewhere to actually sleep on the road. It's a feature that, in one form or another, would eventually become standard equipment across the long-haul trucking industry decades later. Power comes from a Hercules inline-six, known for being tough and dependable, with displacement ranging from 3.7 to 6.3 liters, depending on configuration. Rather than chasing speed, the K30's engine was built for reliability and stamina, exactly what long-haul trucking demanded, typically producing somewhere between 85 and 100 horsepower. A manual transmission, standard for the era, rounded out the package. Altogether, it made the K30 a dependable workhorse and a genuinely unique piece of Jay Leno's collection.
Number 1. 1931 Ford Model A. The 1931 Ford Model A is a real gem in Jay Leno's garage, capturing an important step in Ford's early design evolution. Leno bought this vintage pickup in 2005, drawn to its historical weight and its role in the transition from the Model T to more modern car designs. As the truck that tops this list, its goofiness isn't about outrageous horsepower or gimmicky branding, but rather the charm of seeing just how far pickup design has come since the earliest days of mass production. Built between 1927 and 1931, the Model A succeeded the legendary Model T, and 1931 marked the model's final year. It earned a reputation for reliability and innovation, and it came in multiple body styles: coupes, sedans, and pickups, meeting the needs of a wide range of buyers. The Model A was, in many ways, Ford's answer to a rapidly changing marketplace, one where competitors were beginning to offer features that the aging Model T simply couldn't match anymore. The pickup variant debuted in 1928 and received its major update in 1930 with revised grille and body styling. The 1931 pickup stood out for being both practical and flexible.
Unlike the Model T, which was famously offered only in black, the Model A could be had in 4 different colors, muted as they were, a sign that buyers were starting to want more personal expression in their vehicles. One key engineering feature was its semi-unitized body construction, which gave it added structural strength and durability. The pickup version was a particular favorite among farmers and small business owners for its rugged build and reliable performance. Under the hood, the 1931 Model A ran a 3.3-liter, 201 cubic inch, inline-4, making 40 horsepower, a solid step up from the Model T's 20 horsepower. That extra power let the Model A hit a top speed of around 65 miles per hour, better matching the road conditions of the day. It also featured a 3-speed sliding gear manual transmission, a real improvement over the Model T's planetary gear setup, delivering smoother, more efficient shifting and a noticeably better driving experience overall. For many buyers in the early 1930s, the Model A pickup represented their very first experience with a genuinely modern, easy-to-drive automobile.
And there you have it, 7 of the most delightfully goofy pickup trucks to ever roll through Jay Leno's garage. From that mint green Holly C10 Restomod hiding 500 horsepower under a vintage shell, to the side ramp loading Corvair, to the pocket rocket GMC Syclone, to Leno's one-of-a-kind supercharged Harley-Davidson F-150. Every single one of these trucks took the idea of a pickup and ran somewhere completely unexpected with it. What really stands out looking back at this list is how much range there is here. We went from a 1938 Studebaker built with an actual sleeper cab for exhausted long-haul drivers, all the way to a Mercedes-Benz race transporter nicknamed the Blue Wonder that could practically outrun the cars it was hauling. And it all traces back to the 1931 Ford Model A, the truck that helped kick off the idea that a pickup could be reliable, comfortable, and a little bit personal, not just a tool. That's exactly why Jay Leno's collection is such a goldmine for content like this. The man doesn't just chase the most expensive or most famous machines, he chases the ones with a great story behind them, and pickups almost never get that kind of spotlight. That's what makes moments like these worth digging into again and again. So now I want to hear from you. Which of these 7 trucks would you want parked in your own driveway? Drop your pick down in the comments below. I read every single one of them. And if you enjoyed this ride through automotive history, do me a favor, smash that like button. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss the next deep dive into the wildest corners of the car world. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.